Lebanon was once again thrust into the heart of a volatile regional conflict. A series of explosions targeting individuals carrying simple pager devices sent shockwaves through the nation. Fingers pointed quickly at Israel with accusations of orchestrating the attacks to target members of the militant group Hezbollah. The use of seemingly outdated technology like pagers only added to the mystery and raised questions about the methods and motivations behind the attacks. As investigations began and accusations flew, one thing was certain: the repercussions of these attacks would be felt far beyond the streets of Lebanon. The attacks served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of violence in the region. In the wake of the pager explosions, Hezbollah and its powerful ally Iran wasted no time in pointing the finger of blame directly at Israel. Hezbollah, labeling the attacks as a blatant act of Israeli aggression, vowed swift and decisive retaliation. Iran echoed these sentiments, condemning the attacks and pledging unwavering support for Hezbollah in its response. Iranian officials, outraged by the attacks, accused Israel of perpetrating acts of terrorism against innocent civilians. The strong rhetoric from both Hezbollah and Iran underscored the seriousness with which they viewed the pager attacks. The stage was set for a potentially dangerous cycle of retaliation and counter-retaliation, raising fears of a wider conflict that could engulf the entire region. As investigations into the pager explosions progressed, a surprising twist emerged, drawing a Taiwanese electronics company into the heart of the conflict. Gold Apollo, a manufacturer of electronic devices, including pagers, found itself at the center of the international intrigue. The company confirmed that the pagers used in the attacks were indeed of their making, but vehemently denied any involvement in their transformation into deadly weapons. Gold Apollo maintained that it had sold the pagers, through legitimate channels, to a Hungarian distributor. The incident served as a stark reminder of the need for greater vigilance and international cooperation in regulating the arms trade and preventing the proliferation of weapons that could fall into the wrong hands. Section 4. Hezbollah's vulnerability, a crack in the armor. The pager explosions, while seemingly unsophisticated in their execution, revealed a potentially critical vulnerability in Hezbollah's normally tight-knit and secretive operations. The use of pagers, a seemingly outdated technology, suggested that Hezbollah might be relying on older, more vulnerable communication methods to evade detection. The attack sent a chilling message to Hezbollah that its members, even those operating under the cloak of secrecy, were not beyond the reach of their enemies. This realization forced the organization to confront a troubling question: if their enemies could exploit this vulnerability, what other weaknesses might they be able to exploit in the future? The attacks, while not crippling Hezbollah, did expose a potential Achilles heel. Section 5. Lebanon in the crosshairs, a nation reeling. The pager explosions, while directly targeting Hezbollah, exacted a heavy toll on the people of Lebanon. Hospitals across the nation were overwhelmed with casualties, struggling to treat the influx of injured. The attacks left many Lebanese citizens feeling vulnerable and afraid, caught in the crossfire of a conflict they did not choose. The Lebanese government, already grappling with a myriad of challenges, including political instability and a crippling economic crisis, found itself ill-equipped to deal with the aftermath of the attacks. The attacks underscored the fragility of the situation in Lebanon, a country still reeling from decades of conflict and struggling to maintain a semblance of normalcy. Section 6. The international stage calls for calm amidst uncertainty. The international community reacted to the pager explosions with a mixture of condemnation and concern. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, called for restraint from all parties, urging a de-escalation of tensions to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. The European Union echoed these sentiments, emphasizing the need for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve the underlying issues fueling the conflict. The United Nations called for a thorough and impartial investigation into the attacks, seeking to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. The international community, recognizing the stakes involved, faced the daunting task of navigating a complex web of alliances and rivalries in a bid to prevent the situation from escalating into a wider regional conflagration.